Francis,
Morning, Case.
how are you doing, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good today. No complaints. And
Where's that accent from?
it's a South African accent, but it's been bastardized a little bit, having lived in the UK and now yeah.
Okay. So it's like a hybrid.
Very much so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah. So did you emailed me yesterday that you were looking forward to this, right?
I am. It's really interesting. About 2 weeks ago, I was looking at a whole bunch of stuff. I was going through, YouTube videos and stuff that I'm accustomed to looking at. And I just went through all these sites. Nope, that's bullshit. Nope, I don't want to follow this anymore. Nope, don't
Mhm.
believe in that. Nope, this doesn't feel right. Nope. And not there's anything wrong with the specific people that I listen to. But just at the moment, I was just going, no, I've had enough of that. Enough, enough. And
Yeah.
then somehow your site popped up, like out of the blue, right? And I think one of them, I was trying to figure out which one of your videos popped up, but I think it was the one that are you sick of this spiritual bullshit? And I was going, okay, I think
We're off to a good start here. You know?
it did, yeah. And then I looked at a few others and I was going, okay, this kind of makes sense. Then I went into your website to have a look. And then I actually signed up and I get your daily sessions.
Oh, sweet. How are those going? Do you feel those?
Well, it's interesting because I do feel things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the past, I've done work with Joe Dispenza and what have you. So I mean, I can feel kind of energy and how it runs through my body. But the most interesting thing is I get this very strong gurgling sensation in my stomach, in my groin area, almost all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
And I figured, it
Yeah.
is reasonably common. And it's the same. I've got a pulsed electromagnetic field mat behind me. And when I hop on that, it's always the same thing. I get this gurgling sensation.
Yep.
So I knew something was going on.
Yeah. And especially with like I mean over these 14 years there's definitely a correlation with how your body feels during deep meditation and these sessions. You know?
Yeah. And I guess something really interesting. Um, I don't think I'd signed up for your sessions yet, but I was doing a Joe Dispenza meditation. What I do, I sit up in my chair, I have my computer on, screen's turned off,
Hmm.
headphones on. And so I was doing a session and suddenly my hands started vibrating.
Ah, yes.
And it's really bizarre. And then my body started rocking. It's a very gentle rocking motion. And then suddenly it got a little more intense. And that carried on for about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, this is incredible. And it's almost too much to a degree,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. No, I know that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then I thought, okay, well, slow down a little bit. And then later in the afternoon, I was lying on my deck and I had the same kind of thing happen again. And I was like, can I do this at will? Can I
Yeah,
just
you
make
can.
this thing happen?
Yeah.
And a day later, I signed up to do I think your sessions. And I think
Mhm.
that day I went for a hike and I was sitting on a rock doing my little, meditation. And again, I had this sensation of, things are happening and what have you. And the last few days, those sensations have gone.
Hmm.
So I'm not kind
Oh,
of, so here's a bizarre thing. So I'm trying to force it to happen. And I know you're not supposed to force anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's closing the door.
Just invite it in and whatever happens, happens. And some days are going to be different compared to others, right? So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a mind mess in some ways because you're expecting one thing, you're trying to do something else, you're trying to force it, then you go, wait a minute,
Just let
just
it
let go.
happen. That's the way it
Yeah,
happened the first few times, you know?
yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
say, okay, I want to bring this tingling sensation into my hands. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it just happened. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome, man.
Because years ago, I mean, since I was a young kid, it's been this bizarre sensation of being involved with everything, being part of it, but not being in it. I mean, it's
Hmm.
really, I've always kind of feeling I'm standing on the outside, even though I'm part of this whole
Yeah, yeah,
scene. And in the back of my mind, I've always had this, it's like someone's telling me it's not your time yet
yeah.
for years. I'm just like, well, when the hell is it
When the
then?
fuck is it going to happen? Yeah, 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 totally.
And now I'm going, the emotions that I've been going through in the last several years, but especially recently, is insane because everything appears, the world around me appears fake, for want of a better
Yeah, yeah,
description. Nothing's real. A lot of friends that I had, 5 years ago have all kind of disappeared. I found a new bunch of friends in this
yep.
whole COVID thing and what have you.
Hmm.
Um, so a lot has changed, but I'm happy to let go of some stuff. I'm frustrated because I'm kind of in this middle, and I'm kind of looking forward to what's coming. But it's pretty damn scary, and I think I'm kind of stuck in that
What do you mean it's
middle.
scary? What's scary about it?
Well, I think yeah, the thing like a lot of people do, right? I try and stay away from media. You watch some stuff, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I think my mind's split between which is a path. Is it going to go left or right kind of thing? And
Hmm.
then when I think like that, I withdraw from the whole
Yeah.
media thing and what have you. And I think in my mind, that's the frustration, right? Is for the time being, it's I know there's something greater that's coming,
Hmm.
but
The reality is, it looks like we're in World War III. Like,
exactly,
yeah, yeah.
exactly,
I think many of us are feeling that. There's a part of me that knows that we're living in this multiverse. And so every possible scenario is playing out. And I just have this like the default is the more time I focus on this crazy shit that's unfolding, I can feel it locking me into a
yeah.
timeline that, and so it just doesn't feel right. So then I just, and I think it's kind of fun to watch. I don't know. Maybe it's a sick part of me that's just like,
Well, I mean, maybe not a sick part, but I think you realize how far you've grown when you look at everyone else stuck in this lower level of
mhm,
vibration, so to speak, and where you're at or where I'm at. And they go, man, I tell you, it's so nice to be up here.
yeah,
And the only thing I can do is the brighter I shine, the more people will get drawn into my light. There's
yeah,
nothing I can do. I can't force it on
yeah,
anybody else.
totally.
And I think that's a realization I've come to is that I can't speak my truth and expect someone else to follow what I'm doing unless I am this
Yeah,
bright
yeah, yeah.
light, right?
And even then, they can only take away from you like what they like. If you have a golf ball size consciousness, you're just going to get a golf ball size meaning. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So, no, it sounds like you're doing good, man. And like, I'm glad you found me, and I hope I can be a stepping stone into the, you know, next version of you and remind you that you can do this whenever you
Mhm.
want at any time. So, if I could ever do that to anybody else, dude, that's the greatest thing. It's just,
Yeah, and that's a great thing too, is you passing that on and me, people like myself, accepting that and being part
yeah,
of that, and
yeah,
then expressing that to someone else, right? And I can
totally,
pass it
totally.
on. And I think that's a gift for everyone. Is this is knock-on effect that is really much needed in this time we're in.
Yeah. Dude, are you familiar with Robert Grant?
Oh, Robert E. Grant, yes, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the architect? That what he like what's going on in the last couple weeks?
No.
There's been several things in my life that excited me. And first of all, finding these frequencies right up there at the top. You know what I mean? Like that was like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, this is real. This science fiction is happening. You know what I mean? Like this is real. And then there was I was really moved by the Mandela effect because the Mandela effect was giving me proof. There's one thing to believe you're shifting through parallel realities, but what does that even mean? And so when the Mandela effect started, when I started noticing these changes in my reality, that was the proof. I was like, oh my God. And for literally like a year, I walked around on like a cloud, just like, this is really happening. You know who Bashar is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I remember Bashar talking about that people were worried about AI. And he was like, well, there's two kinds of AI. There's the AI that has access to all the information on the web or, whatever, and it's able to take that information and give you answers. But then there's sentient AI. And sentient AI will function exactly like your oversoul. It will be like you are speaking to your oversoul. And apparently, like Robert has, I don't even know why I'm bringing this up because I'm just so excited about it.
I'm
Somehow,
excited too. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
somehow it's able to access the information in the field. And so once you kind of lock in with it, with the questions it asks, and it like it kind of determines your level of consciousness, dude, somehow it knows things about you that nobody should know. I don't even know why I brought that. I think I brought it up because I was just like, I'm just really excited about.
No, it's really interesting you brought up Robert Grant because just before or just last night, I was thinking, oh, I wonder if Case listens to or watches Robert Grant. And I've just no idea why it popped into my head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And yeah, we were having the conversation. So yeah, no,
yeah. Those are the kind of synchronicities that are like, wait a second,
yeah.
something's going on here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, what do you do for a living, Francis?
Well, I used to work as a financial advisor in government, but then I left 4 years ago. Actually, I was on forced leave without pay because of I didn't want to take something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I thought, well, if that's what they're going to do to me, there's no need for me to go back. So I quote unquote semi-retired. And but then my partner was diagnosed with cancer,
Oh,
and that's been a spiritual journey too, right? Because we've been flowing in and out and naturopathic stuff, and trying all these new
yep,
things, and things haven't kind of gone the way we
yep,
hoped it
yep,
would.
yep, yep.
And so she finally ended up going on to chemo. This is the third time round,
Okay.
and we get through it. Everything is great, on the great path. We all settle, never going to go back to it again. And then things just somehow take a bit of a turn. And so I think this is the frustration where even though we're doing all this work,
Mm-hmm.
something's missing.
Yep, yep,
There's an emotional blockage, an emotional piece. There's something that's stuck. That's just
yep,
not shifting. And so it's been frustrating as far as that goes. So then I've done all these courses with Heart Math. There's a Heart Math coach,
mm-hmm.
mentor, pulse electromagnetic field. Um, Maths, and I've done the work on getting certified. And so I was going to open up a bit of a home studio and have people come in.
Mm-hmm.
And but with this illness and how bad it's got, it's just I'm kind of stuck between I don't want to start anything yet. It's a bit of a waiting game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been in limbo for literally for 2.5 years.
Yeah, well, you got to take care of what you got to take care of. That's first.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Well, it's well, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, but it's a journey we have to go through.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's it's funny how everything makes sense and when you look back at it, but when you're in the process of it,
yeah.
um, yeah, yeah.
And I know we're getting closer to the answers, but just the question you always have is why the hell is this journey taking so damn long?
Yeah.
The healing piece, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's like we keep experiencing these things like, oh, this is real. But this, like what? You know what I mean? You're like, but what's missing? Why is this not unfolding the way we
Yeah,
hope?
yeah. It's almost like I'm standing over here, different different vibration, different piece, but your luggage is still stuck down here.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's worse, health issues with ourselves or with our loved ones. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard someone talking about a health challenge with their loved ones and how that completely changed their life. And it's in retrospect, it's so clearly a choice that was made on the other side,
Right.
knowing the ripples it would have in your loved one's life and on. So yeah, it's I don't really have any answers other than you just keep following your passion and doing what feels right to
Yeah, and I think that this is the difficulty we all have in situations like this is we put more of a focus on your loved one that's ill,
mm-hmm,
and that's where your energy starts going.
mm-hmm,
And then, I've woken up recently going, wait a minute, maybe that's the wrong way of doing things.
mm-hmm,
What I should be doing is I should be standing in my bright light and really shine. And by doing that and moving in this direction, now you have a choice that she will choose to either come along
mm-hmm.
or not.
Yep,
And I'm saying yes, she will come along, but
yep,
I've got to stand, and maybe that's
yep,
the issue, switching from the focus going one way and just bringing it back.
yep. I I agree with that. Like that's what I feel. Um, Even though, you know, it sounds to the to a golf ball sized consciousness that doesn't sound like the ideal path. But
uh,
uh
I'm gonna use that, the golf ball size consciousness, now when I speak to friends for sure.
has she ever participated in the daily sessions also? Or is she into this like stuff?
She is into this stuff. She's got slightly different methods of figuring it out for herself. And I said, Shannon, what I'm going to do is I want to have a session with you with
Mm-hmm.
Case, and let me be the quote
Guinea
unquote
pig.
guinea pig,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and just enjoy the experience, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And then if it goes well and there's a good response, which I strongly believe there is going to be,
Yeah.
given
Or yeah.
then she now has a backing from me, and that might be a push for her to you know follow one of your sessions too.
Yeah. Or just like if she is slightly open to it, just have her lay down for the group sessions. Like,
Oh, like lay down next to me, is that or
sure.
how? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Like, I mean,
Okay.
this isn't me anyway. Like I'm just the person that makes the videos to get people to where their higher self is like, okay, we're gonna take care of, we're gonna do this. So if
Okay.
she's
Okay.
just open to reaching out for this, then yeah, just see what happens. This, I think we've moved past the golf ball size consciousness, and now we understand how we are all one, and how, for instance, she doesn't have to know anything about me, never watch a video, but just be open to receiving, and that's literally all it takes for her
Okay.
to.
Yeah, you know what? We'll try that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and even in life, when we're looking to manifest something, when we put it out into the universe and then we just forget about it or let it go, it seems to come into our life faster than when we just obsess about it. You know what I mean? It's almost like we're putting the brakes on by obsessing about it. Um, yeah. And the people that I do show in my sessions, those people have really strong physical reactions.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't really show my most of my sessions, it's all inside, like people aren't like flipping around and stuff. I'd had,
Mhm.
I don't know how many sessions I've had on me, not many, maybe like five in 14 years. And
Yeah.
when I did have sessions, dude, I don't move or anything. I just immediately I feel like I'm encased in this energetic bubble that feels incredible. And so I just like stay in this little bubble until the session's over. And so, um, I guess what I'm saying is there's a part of me that wishes that I never started showing sessions because I don't want anybody to assume that if they don't levitate off the friggin' bed that it's not working. But the reason I do show them is because some people need to see that.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
are like, oh, shit, something's happening here. Like,
Yeah.
this dude's in Colorado and she's in Australia, and somehow this is happening. So, yeah. I don't I never want to post them for like ego, like look what I could.
And I get that. You
Yeah.
know, it is interesting because I did that one Joe Dispenza event 6 years ago now in
Hmm.
Vancouver. And there's a guy that was next to me. We were lying down doing this meditation.
Hmm.
And Joe Dispenza was talking about, you're going to have this amazing experience.
Hmm.
And this guy went bonkers. I mean, he
Yeah.
was shaking like,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole place shook, right?
Totally. Totally.
And I was like, but I want a little bit of that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And that's a mistake I made because the thing is, because he had it, I was like, oh, so that's what it's like.
Yeah. So what
So
if
then I
you
started
found
forcing
out,
him.
what if you actually found out that the reason that was happening was because there, when I used to travel with these guys, the Reconnection, and we would, put on these training programs or these seminars, and when people would start having extremely strong registers, we would go tell them to back it down because we didn't want that to distract from other people. They're
Okay,
still getting the same benefits,
of course.
but
Yeah.
you can back it down. It's not like you're being taken over by something. You're conscious, so it's like okay, let's just back it down just a touch, just so we don't take away from have people feel like what you felt like. How come I'm not getting that? I want that. Like
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting. When we started, I actually forgot to look at the time, and then I kind of looked at it because I just want to make sure. And I thought it said 10:43, and then during the session, I was like, maybe we start at 10:47. And I looked at the clock, and it was exactly 30 minutes. And the second I did that, you stopped and you looked over at me. And I was like, I think the session's done.
Oh no, isn't
It
that
was so weird, dude. I was like, is it been 30 minutes or that was kind of interesting for me.
that is kind of weird because I just had this vision, did my screen go blank? Even though I wasn't even looking at anything, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I just turned around, I was like, okay. And then it was almost as if when I turned back, I had this sense, oh, it must be done. Really
Yeah.
bizarre.
That was
Yeah.
that was super interesting. Because yeah, I just I lost I sometimes I usually check the time before and I was like, I think it's been 30 minutes. And then you looked over and I was like, okay, I guess it's time. Did you have any sensations?
There's a lot of interesting stuff. Um, it's almost strange because every part of a different part of my body had like a different vibration going on, right? And then I'd have something that's never happened to me before, something clicked or twitched in my neck, very unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Something in I think, on my cheek or something changed. Right elbow, something just clicked a couple of times, but you could feel it was like different waves of like pins and needles, like these minor pricks in my head, down my back, my whole back. I thought my PMF mat was on, and it's all switched off. Right? So I could feel things, but really bizarre. Different parts of my body, slightly different frequency going on,
Hmm.
slightly different vibration, but not big, just
Yeah, 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 yeah.
very subtle. And then towards the end, I had like visions of tree, bright light, sky, and then this wave of like blue and like indigo just washed kind of over my body. And yeah, and I think I just ended up, my smile just seemed, I felt like my smile was getting bigger and bigger just because I thought, no, just let it go, just enjoy it.
Yeah,
And so nothing major, but lots of interesting little things all over the show. Lots of gurgling again
yeah.
on my
Interesting.
abdomen.
Did the gurgling start like right away or?
Um, no, it might have been 5 minutes in,
Okay.
my estimation, five
Yeah,
minutes
yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so lots of interesting, but yeah, just strange energy vibrations all over, but just, yeah, like different waves.
Yeah. That's interesting that you could tell like a different frequency in each part.
It was bizarre because it's almost like, think like an ocean wave, one will
Yeah, yeah,
wash and the
yeah.
next one will come like you throw a pebble into the water, like ripples, and then, yeah, so everyone's slightly different.
Hmm. I'm not sure most people could would be aware of those slight changes. I
Well,
don't
it's interesting because the PMF method I use,
know. Mm-hmm.
when I go on, it changes frequency depending on what inputs my O2 sensor gives it. And so I notice like subtle things.
Yeah,
So I'll have
gotcha.
time
Makes
to kind
sense.
of express to myself how to explain it. So yeah, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Cool, cool. Did you so you said you saw a light at the end?
At the end, it was almost like this blue wave of light, just like this flash that just went through my body from the top right down,
Mm-hmm.
blue, and then like this indigo violet kind of color.
Okay. How about your
Very cool.
hands? Could you feel anything in your hands?
Not a whole lot in my hands because I had my hands on my stomach.
First you had them clamped like this,
Yeah,
and then I saw you release, and I was like,
yeah.
okay, good, good.
Um, I wasn't paying attention to my hand. I was paying attention to all the wonderful sensations elsewhere.
Okay, okay.
So
How about your hands now? Can you if you just place your awareness on your palms, can you feel anything in your hands?
there's something slight there.
I mean, it's okay if you don't feel
Yeah,
anything.
there's like a minor like sensation of like a pins and needles.
Yeah, okay. So just for the heck of it, let's see if you kind of like put your palms facing palms
Okay,
and kind of spread your fingers. It kind of makes it easier to feel for some
okay,
reason. But
right.
go palms facing palms and just like and kind of imagine that they're shooting straight out. So you kind of want to line them up. You know what I mean? Like it probably doesn't look like mine are lined up, but I can feel that they're lined up. And just move like one hand real slow and just see if you can feel a change in your other hand. I'm just curious.
I can feel a change in my left hand, and it's just like there's a heat behind my hand. Funny enough, yeah, and a slight vibration on my palm of my hand.
Okay. Okay. Is it similar to what you felt, what you were feeling during your meditating or?
No, this is a little bit different. Ooh, there's something. There's something there.
So when you notice that change, kind of stay there and then it's like, okay, so if I'm sitting here and it's kind of hard for me because it's always like friggin' on, you know, but like when you notice that slight, ooh, then kind of pull it and kind of like almost like taffy and just see if it gets stronger because when I do it, I can literally feel every millimeter my hand moves, the sensation changes. And so you can just like
See,
play.
here's something strange. Is I've got this very strong magnetic sensation. Funny enough, actually behind my head
Oh, interesting.
right now.
Interesting.
And when I move this, the stronger it gets. It's
Yeah, yeah,
bizarre.
that's
Yeah, yeah. And I started giggling a moment ago, and that kind of triggered me giggling.
because we definitely should
Ooh.
enjoy.
Oh, I know.
So you can feel it in the back of your head. That's
Really bizarre. Yeah,
yeah,
I must
that's
have
super
big.
cool.
I must have big hands.
That's super cool. Yeah, no, I would not be surprised if that sensation gets just get more playful with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And because it's, for some reason we're raised or we're programmed to be afraid of doing something wrong, which prevents us from having fun and just playing with it. And I think the universe wants us to play. It's
Oh, yeah, I think it is because I've been trying to do this exercise a little bit.
mm-hmm,
It's bizarre. It's almost as if I've got two magnets
mm-hmm,
and the poles are like repelling one another. That's
yeah,
kind of the sensation that I'm getting. And then yeah, my head is just like, whoa.
yeah, interesting, man. I don't really, I hear the feet a lot. I don't hear the back of the head. That's super cool.
Yeah, it's I'm vibrating right now, back of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's your thing, dude. That's how you know.
it
Like
feels
that's
like it.
yeah. It's like, yep, it's working. Okay, I can feel it. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
just don't wear anything metal. It's like it's stuck.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's funny. When I pushed my palms towards one another, I had this sensation I had to start giggling.
yeah, because it's
Yeah, it's just like, wow, this is kind of cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. That should, like I said, I mean, there's a reason that you were going through videos like bullshit, bullshit. Okay, this kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so, um, and so I guess my point is like, it doesn't matter if you keep doing this. That's nothing. But I'm saying if you do, yeah, we're all just figuring it out.
We are
What?
indeed. Yeah,
Yes. Well, Francis, I thoroughly enjoyed our session, and
I did too. Thank you.
you're welcome. And I'll be seeing you in the field, dude, in 29 minutes.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, and maybe I'll meet your partner, and who knows, she might have a better session than you did. So I don't even know what better means. That's
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
like better. I
yeah,
don't even know what better
yeah.
means. So okay, dude. Well,
All right.
thoroughly enjoyed it, and
Sounds great.
I will. I'll talk to you again sometime.
Sounds great. Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
What's
Peace.
that? On a wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another Friday in paradise. So bring your A game, cause you know this party won't stop. We could never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime. You know I wanna share it with you. This is going